Hi, my name is Rochelle Snow, and today I'm going to be going over my ultimate unit that I have created for my MSU CEP 820 class. So starting off really strong, I created my ultimate unit using Google Classroom just because I thought that that would be the easiest platform for my students to move through. As you can see here, there's a really nice welcome message saying, "Hey, amazing artists," kind of going over that they will be doing still life drawings for their next project. I have highlighted here everything that you need to complete the project is included in the slides presentation, making sure that they go through it carefully. I created a quick introduction for students about what their project is, making a still life about themselves, using a gridding method, and using shading to make a still life drawing. I also included their unit outcomes here for a straightforward approach to what they should be expected to learn and do. Since this course is fashioned specifically for online students, I wanted to make a section for all of the supplies that they would be expected to get for the unit so that they can make sure that they have that before starting anything big. For this page, I created a project breakdown going over all of the different sections of the unit, what those sections are about, where and when things are due, and then the points allotted for each of those items. I also included this Google Doc that includes the same information since the text here is a bit small. But it is also great since they can potentially print this off and use it as a checklist after accomplishing each thing. I also included the rubric for how I will be grading their final artwork so that they know my expectations early on and the points value for each category. You'll notice that the sections of this unit are broken down into big topic pages and will have a large topic page like this one. This creates an easy way to locate information based on each section. Students begin with the Still Life Learn It section. Here they will read over an article from the Getty Museum of Art about a brief history of still lifes, what still lifes are, and how artists use them. I also included this Padlet discussion board early on for students to be able to chat with their peers. In that discussion board, they can feel comfortable to ask any questions about the project that they might be confused or have difficulties with. In the Still Life Make It section, students are introduced to how to make a successful composition and how to take photos of those compositions with the video I created. I made sure to put the big ideas on the right side for them to see and remember. After the video, students will be making their still life compositions and taking 3 photos to continue on with. Students will then take those photos and place them into the Padlet discussion board for discussion with their peers. Students are to comment on 2 other peer photos talking about positives and 2 constructive criticisms. They will make any adjustments to their photos after discussion. If you'll notice on all slides that have some sort of assignment due, you will see areas of points, due dates, and a link on where that they can turn this in. This is easier for students to find rather than making them return all the way back to the project breakdown slide. The next big step of the project is gridding. Entering the Gridding Learn It section, students will learn the technique of gridding and why it's useful for artists to learn. Essentially, students use a photo that is gridded to copy square by square to complete the drawing, almost like a puzzle. In the Gridding Try It section, students choose one of the 4 images to try the gridding method with to get the hang of it before their final. I chose 4 very different images so that they can choose the one that interests them the best. I just have them do this on a sticky note or scrap sheet of paper, and once they're done, they end up posting it to the assignment on Google Classroom so that I can review it before they move on to their final. This just ensures that they understand the concept completely. Gridding Make It is when students use pencil to grid out their photo and their final papers. This is really important to do right so that they get the proportions correct. I recommend them to print off their images, but some students might not have access to a printer, so I made this separate slideshow where they are able to add their own photos and use the grid online. Students then will go square by square to draw their final artworks, copying from their photographs. I added another critique opportunity in the gridding section so that students can receive feedback about small details that may need adjustments. In the same manner of the last critique, they will share their photos on the Padlet discussion board and share 2 positives and 2 constructive criticisms with 2 other students. The next step in the process is shading. In the Shading Learn It section, students learn about what shading is, how to shade, and helpful tips that they can use in their artworks. I have them watch a portion of this video, but the whole video is optional to watch if they would like to. I also wanted to highlight some of those big, helpful tricks, so I added those in the text on the right. As before, I think it is important for students to get practice before moving to their finals, which is exactly what's happening in the Shading Try It section. Students will attempt to copy this picture, a 7-box value scale and a shaded sphere, on a blank sheet of scrap paper. When done, they will turn it into the Google Classroom for approval from me before moving on to their final artwork. In the Shading Make It section, students are prompted to add their shading onto their final artworks. I made sure to include photos of great shading examples so students are aware of expectations for their artworks. We then enter the final step, finalizing. Students have their last critique session on Zoom in small breakout rooms. Here, they spend about 5 minutes talking about each student's artworks and make sure to write down their feedback for later about their artwork. That feedback comes in handy for the revision phase, where students can go back and add in any finishing touches before turning it in. For submitting artwork, I always have students upload to the platform Artsonia. They will upload a good quality photo of their artwork in the still life assignment and reflect on their process and final artwork with a 6-sentence artist statement. To finish out the unit, I wanted to include a place to celebrate and officially end it. This not only pats students on the back for their hard work, but gives them a conclusion for the project so that they don't think that they're missing anything else. I also include my works cited page and make sure to include the Slides Go distribution page. I worked super hard on this ultimate unit, making sure that it was accessible for all, and I hope that you enjoyed it and think that it would be a great lesson to include in any art classroom. Thank you.